Hello, people of the internet. I am James Phoenix, and this is another WWE Fantasy Log. What? Okay. Thank you. You were very expressive there.
I wasn't sure if your camera was supposed to be on or not. So I was showing shock, like, oh, where is he?
Oh, my camera was on my end.
Oh, okay. It's not on my end.
That's weird. Let's try to turn it off. And back on. Am I there now?
No. That's fine, I think.
That's weird. Okay. Well, the people at home should be able to see me. That's what matters.
Yes.
So, as mentioned, this is another WWE Fantasy Log. We're on minimal people tonight, as you can see. Unfortunately, both Tiffany and Jeff could not make it this evening. Jeff is sick, and Tiffany, I'm not sure why she couldn't make it, but she was unavailable. So, it's going to be me and John tonight, which luckily means we'll probably get through this quickly. Which is a good thing.
It is.
It is. All right. So, sorry. I've had a very long day. I've been using my voice, so I'm a little,
Fair enough.
All right. Let's go into the news. As usual, we'll start off with news. We'll go into the recap. We'll score some stuff. We'll do what we got to do. Okay? Okay. All right. So, let's open right up with some news. Not a lot of big news this week. A lot of little news. Little bitty. Interestingly, this damn it. For those who may or may not be aware, there has been in development a Vince McMahon biopic called Pandemonium. They've been working on that. And rumor has leaked this week that apparently the lead role of Vince McMahon has been offered to Hollywood actor Bradley Cooper.
Interesting.
There's no confirmation on whether he has accepted, but apparently he was offered the role several weeks ago. So, we'll see how that plays out. What else we got? I don't have this officially, but I'll just mention this out there real quick. We will just take a quick moment here. Because we do, in terms of WWE career, we do want to wish a happy 20th anniversary to the Big Red Machine, Kane.
That's gotta be Kane.
That's gotta be Kane. Vote for Kane. All right, what else we got here? So, it's no secret that Corey Graves and Enzo Amore don't like each other.
Is that for realsies or?
I don't know.
Okay.
But apparently it's semi, because apparently Corey and Enzo had a bit of a spat on Twitter this week. It opened up with that Corey Graves, who tweeted, for example, Enzo's Twitter handle is @real1, the number 1, in case anybody doesn't know.
Didn't he have a different one before?
I'm not sure, but he's @real1 now.
So I thought he had, like, in NXT, it was like at WWE all day or something like that.
Probably, but I don't know. He's now @real1. There is an Enzo Amore @WWE All Day 22.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Page. That's a fan page.
Oh, is it?
Yes. Bada bing, bada boom. Realist fan page on Twitter.
That's
how
funny.
you doing?
I think they used to list that under him on NXT, so I wonder if it was one of those, because they do that every so often. They screw up on the Twitter handle.
Yeah. Don't be a hater. If I had a dime for every person who hates me, I would have 0 dimes.
I think you'd have a couple dollars.
Well, anyway, his website is I am not WWE all day WWE at allday21.com. So apparently, just he must have changed the handle.
Gotcha.
No, I don't know. Anyway, but it began with sorry. Yeesh. Corey Graves put out a tweet. I guess his son plays baseball. My son just ran to second base and danced like at real one to celebrate. I have failed as a father. Enzo picked up on this and responded, "No, you didn't fail as a father. You failed as a wrestler. That's why they dressed you up in a suit and tie and told you to sit down."
Ooh.
Hashtag how you doing. Hashtag champ. Graves seemed to ignore that, but his younger brother, pro wrestler Sam Adonis, responded to that saying, "Maybe it's time I go back to WWE and kick this idiot's teeth down his throat." So, now it's a family spat. So we'll see if Sam Adonis follows up on that. What else we got? Oh, this one. This one is just absurd. That's absurd. And I really, this was actually sent in by a reader, but I can't I can't read this in any way other than I have to read this as if it was on What the Fuck Is Wrong With You, because there's no other way I can read this.
Okay.
So, an article that went up on the morning of October 2nd, back on Monday morning, on the New York Daily News. Shane McMahon invests in marijuana company and then sues them.
Okay.
Yes. This is the thing. Apparently, Shane McMahon invested $500,000 in the Connecticut-based firm EnviroGrow, which sells the marijuana modules in states where the drug is legal for medical and recreational use, in exchange for a large stake in the company. His interest in the company went public last year when he filed a lawsuit in Connecticut court in which he accused the company's owner of duping him about the state of the company. Apparently, after making the $500,000 investment, Shane then traveled to inspect the plant and found the company virtually non-existent. McMahon then demanded his money back, but was refused, prompting him to file suit. So, yeah, I don't know.
I couldn't tell you. That seems really weird.
Yeah, that's a little bizarre.
There's nothing here. Heel turn.
Huh. I don't know. The manufacturer plant found it non-existent. He demanded return investment. Palmieri refused. The lawsuit is ongoing. Palmieri, the owner of the cannabis company, has denied the allegations in the lawsuit. EnviroGrow is a viable company, he said. It's a great little business, and it's up and coming. They started marketing. Apparently, they actually have these modules that are basically like if you know, like a shipping container, like you see on a ship, and apparently it comes with everything you need to set up a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a marijuana growing kit. So that's interesting.
Now available on Amazon. No, I don't know.
Wouldn't shock me. Everything else is. So, yeah, good luck to Shane in the suit, I guess. I'm sorry you got stooped. I don't know what else to say on that. A little bit of sad news real quick, because we'd like to cover things that are happening even outside the WWE. It is worth knowing that earlier this week, unfortunately, the legendary Memphis wrestling announcer Lance Russell passed away at the age of 91. He was the legendary voice of Memphis, Tennessee wrestling and a fixture on the circuit for nearly 40 years, beginning announcing in the late 1950s until his semi-retirement in 97. He was the unflappable host of the Continental Wrestling Association's weekly Saturday morning show held at WMC's TV studios, as well as Mid-South Coliseum cards each Monday night. He provided commentary for all of Memphis' most famous matches. His draw was the soundtrack for Jerry the King Lawler's rivalry with absurdist comedian Andy Kaufman in the 1980s, a groundbreaking event that made national headlines. When an impromptu tag team fight broke out in the concession stand of the Tupelo Sports Arena in Mississippi years earlier after that night's taping had ended, it was Russell who alerted the cameraman to begin filming and who literally shined a light on the brawl, which many consider a milestone moment in wrestling. So props to him. And, of course, our thoughts and condolences with his family and friends. Mm-hmm. And fans, of course. All right, what else? Let's update on this real quick. So Jeff Hardy had his shoulder surgery on Tuesday. There is no word on how long he will be out yet, but there has been talk he could be out until May, which would keep him out of WrestleMania if that's the case. Jeff put out a picture of himself on Instagram, which he took with the arm he did not have surgery on, and posted the photo, "Let the healing begin, 10/3/17." So we wish Jeff the best in his recovery. We'll see you around. What else? More things happening. More things. Minor things, but things. All the things. So it is worth noting, as you'll note when we go through the recap this week, they, I guess they went overtime and got kicked off of SmackDown despite being announced for it. But it is worth noting, which we will cover this next week, that the Fashion Files will be returning at Hell in a Cell.
Wow. Yeah, I remember them saying they were going to be on. They actually weren't on SmackDown.
They were not on SmackDown. They got bumped. But they will be at Hell in a Cell. Don't miss the latest installment as Fandango and Tyler Breeze look to get to the bottom of Team Blue's biggest mysteries. So there you go. So we'll see what happens. What else? A couple other things. Let's talk about this one. Minor note, Shayna Baszler officially started at the Performance Center. So I was just looking forward to getting herself a WWE trained state so she can move on up. So we'll see how that 4 Horsewomen storyline develops. What else? Oh, here we go. Apparently, this could be interesting if anybody's interested. Available on Amazon and on other book retailers at the end of the month here, at the end of October. You can purchase yourself a copy of the new biography, Crazy Like a Fox, the definitive chronicle of Brian Pillman, 20 years later. It offers the most in-depth analysis of Brian's entire personal and professional life, with unheard details of his football and wrestling careers, complemented by interviews with close family and friends, including the Pillman family, Dave Meltzer, Kim Wood, Bruce Hart, Raven, Jim Cornette, Mark Madden, Les Thatcher, and many more. The book has been penned by Liam O'Rourke, a sports and medical journal writer from the UK and lifelong fan. So if you're a Brian Pillman fan, check that out. Gun not included. Sorry, I had to.
Poor dude did like other stuff, but no one's ever gonna remember it. Oh,
nope. You'll note here, let's see. An alpha male with a beta body looking to thrive in worlds where beta males with alpha bodies are the primary requirement. he was a complex paradox, a walking contradiction. Lived more than 35 years than most do in a lifetime. The product of an arduous infanthood, his overachievement is awe-inspiring. Tales of his conflicts and conquests became the stuff of legend. His borderline genius and tragic demise made him an icon shrouded in mystique. He was Brian Pillman, and 2 decades later, the most comprehensive look at one of the professional wrestling's most fascinating stories has been compiled. Discover unheard details of his upbringing, the incredible story behind chasing an NFL roster spot, his introduction to pro wrestling and the crazy Stampede circuit. Revel at his trials and tribulations in WCW and the WWF, walking the fine line between the cusp of superstardom and political turmoil. Reflecting the most detailed inside breakdown of his loose cannon gambit ever produced, and the scam that turned him into the talk of the business before fatally drowning in personal tragedy and addiction. With exclusive news and some of Brian's close friends and family, Crazy Like a Fox is a must-read for Pillman fans, and a breathtaking look at the bizarre world of wrestling to boot. I'll check that out at the end of the month. We're on Amazon and wherever fine books are sold, I guess. What else? Here's an interesting note. Kind of fun. If anyone was wondering, Stephanie McMahon put in an appearance on ITV's Lorraine this week and spoke about growing up in the industry and a few other things. And one thing that she mentioned, in addition to talking about, trying to push women in the company, was she mentioned that apparently, according to statistics, 40% of the current WWE audience consists of women. And more than 40% of families that attend WWE live events bring their children with them. So, women and children are a very big part of the WWE audience. As one might expect.
Yeah.
What else? Speaking of women in the WWE, here's an interesting note that Natalya pointed out. Of course, we all know Natalya is set to defend her women's title against Charlotte at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view this Sunday. Tomorrow. Today, depending on your time zone. And it's interesting to note that Natalya will actually set a couple of records tomorrow night. First of all, when Natalya competes at Hell in a Cell tomorrow night, she will actually beat Trish Stratus' record for the most pay-per-view matches of any woman in WWE history.
Oh, wow.
That's right.
That's pretty cool.
Which is pretty cool. In addition, she and Charlotte have a storied history, and they're going to be making more history by being the first women in WWE as of tomorrow night to be competing for 4 different championships. No other women in the company have ever done this. They've competed for the NXT Women's Championship, the Divas Championship, the Raw Women's Championship, and now the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. So that is pretty cool. So props to Natalya and Charlotte. And lastly, what was probably the talk of the week's news. Let's get to the big one. I don't know if you heard about this. Have you heard any news this week?
The rumor about Lucha Underground, that was about it.
Okay, no, this is an NXT thing.
Oh, the
yeah.
pay-per-view name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was announced officially by Triple H on Twitter with logos, but it was announced actually by General Manager William Regal at the NXT tapings in Winter Park earlier the week that the takeover special held on November 18th prior to the Survivor Series pay-per-view will be NXT TakeOver War Games. The match will be resurrected for the main event at that program, and the NXT War Games match will feature Sanity, Eric Young, Alexander Wolf, and Killian Dane taking on Roderick Strong and the Authors of Pain, Akam and Razor, taking on the Undisputed Era of Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish. So that's interesting. I'm going to have to go back on the network and watch the old WCW War Games because I've kind of always wanted to watch those matches and never got around to it. Now I'm going to have to do it before this happens. So I have context. Also noted that the NXT Women's Championship match plans were made official at the tapings as Nikki Cross won a battle royal to advance into the Fatal 4-Way for the vacant NXT Women's title, taking on Ember Moon, Peyton Royce, and Kairi Sane. the, of course, winner of the women's tournament. So NXT, what was NXT TakeOver Houston, now NXT TakeOver War Games, will be taking place from the Toyota Center in Houston on November 18th, the Saturday night before Survivor Series. So you can get tickets for that now. All right. Let's get to the scoring, shall we? You're playing games while I'm scoring. How dare you? I'm kidding. Which is unlike some people, you can apparently multitask.
I can.
All right, so let's take a look at the scores. The Champions of Justice are in the lead at 24-31, followed up by the Glorious End at 18-58, John. Followed up by TNA Worldwide at 18-18, and in last place, the Broken Highlight Club at 15-80. So we're going to see how those pan out after this week. Let's take a look at the leaderboards. Right at the top, in a massive lead, is the realest champ in the room, Enzo Amore, the Cruiserweight champ, at 340 points. Followed and taken place by one half of the Raw Tag Champs, Dean Ambrose, at 245. Followed by the other half of the Raw Tag Champs, Seth Rollins, at 227. Followed by the U.S. champ, AJ Styles, at 223. And the Intercontinental champ, The Miz, at 222, just a point behind Styles. Alexa Bliss coming in at 219, tied with Roman Reigns in spots 6 and 7. Followed by Neville at number 8 at 205, followed by Cedric Alexander at 193 as number 9, and running at the top 10 is the Monster Among Men, Braun Strowman, at 189. Braun! All right. So put those guys in order, and we will go ahead and see what happened this week. Because some things happened. Not a lot, though. Everything was very status quo this week, I've noticed.
Isn't there a pay-per-view soon?
There is a pay-per-view tomorrow.
Yeah. That's soon.
That's SmackDown pay-per-view, though. It shouldn't have affected Raw.
No, it shouldn't have, but at least that explains SmackDown, I would think.
True. So Raw this week comes from the Pepsi Center in Denver, Colorado, because the arena didn't get double booked by dumb shits this time. Hashtag Denver debacle.
It's funny that didn't we mention that last week?
We did mention that last week.
And I don't know.
I came up with.
Like, did we know they were gonna go to Denver again?
I didn't know that.
That's pretty funny.
I heard him. All right. So we open ourselves up with, of course, Vince McMahon and Shane as well. And the entire locker room are on the stage, and they have a moment of silence for the victims of the very unfortunate mass shooting that happened in Las Vegas last weekend. That was very unfortunate. And our thoughts and prayers out, of course, to the victims and their families, friends, and everybody else who was hurt by that tragic incident as well. Such a shame. And you know, not to soapbox, but you could say, oh, gun control would have changed that, but I'm pretty sure there aren't any other weapons that can do that much damage from 400 yards away and 32 stories up. Just saying.
Yeah, oh god, when those people were just like, yeah, if people had guns, they would have fit. No, they wouldn't have. They didn't even know where the hell he was.
Yeah, no.
The people down there, no.
They only knew where he was because they suspected it, and one of the hotel security guards went, knocked on the door, and he got shot in the leg through the door.
Yeah, but he wasn't, the people on the ground had no idea.
No, they had no idea what was going on.
Guns and started shooting at random hotels, that would have made it way worse.
Probably, yes.
And
even the cops who had guns were cowering behind cars and shit.
Yeah, because for a long time, they didn't know where he was.
They didn't know what was going on, no.
And supposedly some of the like people that were working the concert did have guns, and they're like, "No, I'm not going to just whip that out." That's like, the cops will be like, "Oh, someone's shooting. Hey, there's a guy with a gun." You know?
Oh yeah, there's. I will talk to you. I'll give you. I'm going to fill you out on something after because I don't want to distract too much from the topic at hand here. Get too political right now, but there was an interesting story from one of the people who who was on stage at the time, but one of the performers involved in that concert who has literally done a 180 on his gun stance after that event.
Wow.
But I'll talk to you about that after the show. In the meantime, let's stick with fictional violence.
Wrestling.
And we see a recap of Braun Strowman beating up Dean Ambrose last week. And of course, per what he said last week, Seth Rollins has a match against Braun Strowman this week. And they have themselves a match, and Seth Rollins gets his ass kicked.
No.
Although he puts up quite a hell of a fight, I give him credit, but he ate a power slam. So. We'll go ahead and we will open up with that. So Seth Rollins did not win the match. So he will get himself 5 points for competing, and 4 on moves is 9 points to Seth freaking Rollins. It's 3 and 6. It's 36. Okay, 236. Braun Strowman won a match. He gets 20 points for that. 5 for being in it, and 5 moves is 30 points to Braun. Nice and easy. 99.09. That puts Braun at 219. How about that? All right. So after the match,
not my guy, but I imagine that's good.
Yeah. Well. Hey, we traded. I took Braun when he started doing things, and you took Enzo when he started doing things. It was a fair trade. Anywho, so after the match, Braun Strowman hits Rollins with another running power slam. And then as he's about to leave, he turns back around to Rollins, like he's going to do something else. That's another, in a minute. And Dean Ambrose runs out for the save. Strowman drops him too and hits him with not one but 2 choke slams and then a running power slam. And then the ref came out and checked on them as Strowman evacuated the area. And then the bar headed down to the ring, and Cesaro proceeded to plant Ambrose with a neutralizer, and then Sheamus bro kicked Rollins.
Never picture Braun Strowman evacuating an area.
Well, he left.
It just sounds like him just being like, "Oh shit."
Yeah. I don't know. Match was the words. Anyway, so Strowman's going to get an out-of-match assault and a power slam, 2 choke slams, and another power slam. So that's 4 for an assault and 4 for moves is 8 more points to Braun Strowman. That's going to put him at 227. And then out-of-match assault for Cesaro plus a finisher is 5 points to Cesaro. And then to Sheamus. Yeah, that's it. Will also get 5 points and put him at 160. Brother, did you see the shirt that Cesaro released?
Yeah.
That was...
tweet about that?
Yes.
I think WWE also put up a clip of when he injured his teeth, so I got to see that. Ooh, that looked really good.
Yeah, no, it wasn't pretty. It was not in any way pretty.
Oh.
No. The best part was even on the backwards logo as it said Cesaro.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
I just saw the front.
No, good times. So all that happens, and then we cut to the backstage area where we see Mickie James. And she runs into Alicia Fox and Emma, who talks some shit at her, and then tell her that a secret admirer left a surprise in her dressing room.
It was Batista.
No, that would have been better. That would have been interesting. No, Mickie enters the dressing room and finds a package of Depends and a walker.
Wow.
We're going with the old lady shtick. She throws them down in rage, walks out to go find Alexa, but when she opens when she goes to Alexa's door, Nia Jax opens it instead. Mickey says she wants Bliss, but instead Bliss offers Nia for a match tonight. Nia smirks, and Mickey walks off. So that's going to be promo to Mickey, Alicia, Emma, and Alexa and Nia, pretty much everybody. So, all right. What the hell? So let's see. Alexa gets 5. That puts her at 224. And then we got Alicia Fox while I'm up here is going to get her first points of the season. Yay. Here you go, John. Yay. Yay. We're going to go with, let's see, Mickey is going to get 5. It's 25. And Nia, we got 6. Wait a minute. Should be 147. There we go. And then anybody else? Nope, that's everybody. No, Emma. I forgot Emma. We all forgot Emma. What's her at 101? Okay. All right. So after this, we cut to Bray Wyatt in a dimly lit room in his rocking chair. He gets a promo saying that she told him to put his bow and arrow down and goes on about how she would never lie to him. So promo to Bray Wyatt.
His bow and arrow.
What's that?
His bow and arrow.
Yes. But no, that's not what you're thinking.
Oh.
It is something interesting, though.
Okay.
We're going to get to it later. He's not finished. Don't worry. All right, let's see. Elias comes out and sings a song about Denver. But he's interrupted by Titus Worldwide. And he has a match against Titus, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Titus competed. And you didn't see that coming.
I know.
Titus, he didn't win, but he competed.
He had a chance, though.
He did. To be honest, Titus wasn't doing too bad until Crew started interfering. When Elias shoved him at ringside after getting knocked out of the ring by Titus. Cruz tried to chase him until the ref warned him, and Elias cheap shotted Titus behind the ref's back. And then hit him with the drift away finisher. So we're going to go with Apollo Crews at ringside and an interference. That's 5 for the accompaniment and 6 for the interference is 11 points to Apollo Crews. Is 60. And then Titus was in the match but didn't win it, so he gets 5 for competing. And 2 moves is 7 points to Titus. Puts him at 41. And then Elias won a match. That's 25 for competing is 25. And 1 for the drift away is 26. Is going to be 71, 81, 91, and 6 is 197. Okay, and the top 10 for Elias. For now. We get a video promoting Asuka's debut at the TLC pay-per-view, and then we go to the ring for the aforementioned women's match between Mickie James and Nia Jax, which ends in a disqualification. Alexa comes out to watch from ringside. Mickie gets distracted pretty much immediately, as one might expect. And by the end of the match, Mickie basically had taken control and hit a tornado DDT, but as she went for the cover, Alexa jumped in and broke up the pinfall, and Nia just got DQ'd off the bat. So, that was that. So Alexa is going to get accompaniment and interference, so 11 points to Alexa Bliss. $235. And then let's see here. So what is the rules on disqualification? Let's see. It was a DQ loss. Does that count as an intentional DQ loss? Because I don't think Nia intended to lose.
No, shouldn't.
So then that would just be a straight up unintentional DQ win for Mickie James, but that's no points. So basically that means that Nia is going to get 5 points for competing. And 2 for being in the match is 7 points to Nia. On 54. And then that means that Mickie is going to get 5 for being in the match, and 1 for a move is 6 points to Mickie. Okay. So after the bell, Alexa continues beating Mickie down, takes her out to ringside, where Mickie comes back with a kick to the face. Nia gets to her feet, and Mickie talks her trash before heading out. Well, I'm going to take a wild guess that was a Mick kick, and I'm going to give Mickie a point for it.
Sounds good.
Technically, like I said, Mickie should both get out of match assault. Alexa would get 4 more points. 39. 239. All right. Rolling along, we cut to an interviewer backstage with Enzo Amore. Said interviewer asks him what it feels like to have the whole division against him, and I think for the first time in history, Enzo Amore is speechless. He stands there looking very sad, and he says nothing for several minutes, and then he walks away. Hashtag sad Enzo. But I will still give him a, since it was an interview, I will still give him a promo point for that, even though he did not speak. Because it's good enough for me. All right. Oh, excuse me. After this, we cut to Mickie being interviewed, where she mentioned she wants to win the Raw Women's title, saying she wouldn't mind making it up to 7, and Kurt Angle happens to walk in and grants her said title shot at the TLC pay-per-view. Well, that's a promo to Mickie. Mickie James. Mickie James.
She finally gets points when I don't have her.
She's got 41 points.
I don't have her anymore, do I?
Okay. James. No, you do not. Jeff does.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I had her
of course.
2 before this, and she did fuck all. And I'm like, oh, now we'll use her. Thanks.
And we see a promo that was actually recorded earlier in the night of the club locating Matt Hardy and Jason Jordan, calling them nerds, and Matt Hardy and Jason Jordan in turn challenging them to a match this evening. With Matt Hardy pointing out to Jason Jordan that, 2 grown men who walk around calling other grown men nerds are probably themselves nerds. So I will give promo to the 4 of them, because that was technically a new promo, even though it was pre-taped earlier in the day. So that's promo to the 4 gentlemen. So that would be Carl Anderson. And let's see, we'll get Jason Jordan here. That's going to put him at 179. And Luke Gallows is going to get at 79. And Matt Hardy is going to get 5 and go up to 122. And then we get to the ring where said tag team match play occurs. And the club actually comes out victorious. I know.
Yeah, I didn't think that was possible.
It apparently is. And good news, you have the club. I know. So, Yes, the match went very back and forth until we got near the end, and Carl Anderson proceeded to slam Jason Jordan into the barricade. And then Gallows managed to reverse the twist of fate, hit a body avalanche on Matt Hardy in the corner, and then they connected with a magic killer. So, yes, you read that correctly. They bitched out Matt Hardy to protect Jason Jordan. Yeah, because that's going to get butts in the seats. Idiots. Anyway, so Matt Hardy and Jason Jordan did not win this match, so they're going to get participation points. So Jason Jordan is going to get 5, and 2 moves is 7 for him. It's going to put him at 186. And then Matt Hardy is going to get 5 points for competing. Come on. There we go. And he's going to get 4 moves, so that's 9 points to Matt Hardy. Which is 131. Well, cancel. Don't do that. Okay, anyway. Then we have ourselves the club. I believe Carl Anderson was the legal man at the pinfall. Anderson tags in. Yep. Okay, so we'll do Luke Gallows first. He's going to get 15 points for being on the winning team. He's going to get 5 for being in the match. And he's going to get 5 moves, which is going to give him 25 points. Luke Gallows. 99 and 5 is 104. Carl Anderson will get 20 for winning, 5 for competing, and 1 move is 26 points to Carl Anderson. Which puts him at 96. All right. After the match, we cut backstage where Roman Reigns is interviewed and asked about what happened earlier in the night with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins at the bar. Reigns says he's not surprised the bar wanted to make a statement and says that he's sure Rollins and Ambrose are already making a plan for revenge next week. But he's focused on his match against The Miz tonight for the Intercontinental Championship. And leaving with said title. So, promo to Roman. By the way, didn't put this in the news. Here's a random fun fact. John, are you buying 2K18?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Okay. Because somebody who had played the demo went through and wrote up a list, and apparently Roman Reigns has the highest stats in the game. His overall is at 95.
Damn.
Which is the highest in the game. That puts him 2 points ahead of, tied at 93, John Cena and Brock Lesnar.
Jeez.
Followed by, at 92, I believe, was AJ Styles and Seth Rollins. Yeah. So.
95.
Mind you, there were no legends on this list.
Ah.
Although I will point out The Undertaker is at 89.
Wow.
Yeah. Anywho. So after that promo, we then we cut back to the ring. Where we are subjected to, joined by Data Warrior.
Oh.
Who, admittedly, to credit, is in the ring with 3 breast cancer survivors. And the Raw Women's roster, the entirety of it, is also in the ring for the segment, as Dana talks about her late Hall of Fame husband, the Ultimate Warrior, and how strong the survivors are. They are 2 are warriors, and presents them each with a custom women's title belt.
That's kind of cool.
That is cool. Also, I did see it after a big video that apparently Dana Warrior got presented with a belt backstage afterward as well. So, props to her. No, I'm not going to... This is a special segment. I'm not going to give the women's roster points for standing in the background.
That's fine.
Moving on. Roman Reigns takes on The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. And this match ends in a DQ. That's 2 tonight if you're keeping score at home.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what people want to see. DQ finishes. So, basically, as one might expect, basically the Mr. Raj got involved. Actually, no, it wasn't even the Mr. Raj, now that I think about it. And to reread this match. So here's what happened. So they get in the ring, and the Mr. Raj proceeds to mock the Shield's entrance on their way down. And as they get in the ring, being that this is a title match, they're both competitors are in the ring, and the announcer begins the traditional pre-match introductions for the title match, as they are wont to do when they want to make a title match look fancy and official. I'm sure you know. Mm-hmm. And during this, apparently, during the introductions, Roman Reigns decides, no, we're not going to do this. And he decides, we're not going to do this. So he apparently, I don't know if, I guess he jumped out to the floor to do this. I don't know. But in the middle of the ring introductions, Roman Reigns is like, no, and he proceeds to jump out of the ring and Superman punch Dallas and Axel. He then hits them both with a drive-by kick. And then he grabs a steel chair and chases Axel through the crowd onto the stage, drops him with a chair shot. Dallas jumps Reigns from behind and drops him on the stage and grabs the chair, but Reigns pops up, Superman punches him, takes the chair back, and then beats them both with a chair. The referees finally come and pull Roman Reigns off of them, and he then casually walks back down to the ring and begins the match. So, just for the record, to start off, that is a out-of-match assault for Roman Reigns at 4. That's a weapon use at 3 is 7. And that was 3 Superman punches and 2 drive-bys, which is 5. So that'd be 5, 4 is 9, and 3 is 12 points to Roman before the match has started.
Okay.
Big Dog is in the building, apparently.
Apparently. He's got 95. So.
Yeah, pretty much. So the Intercontinental Championship match then proceeds to occur as they go back and forth. And the match ends here as Miz manages to dodge a Superman punch attempt and connect with the skull-crushing finale for a 2 count. Reigns comes back then with a Superman punch for a 2 count after managing to kick out. As Reigns then goes to the corner and sets himself up for the spear, he is jumped by the Bar out of nowhere. Okay. The Bar proceeded to pull Reigns out of the ring, beat him down as the Miz is DQ'd and retains his title by default. So that is going to be, let's see. So what do we got here? That is again an unintentional DQ on the part of the Miz. So therefore, the DQ win, that's going to for 0 points for the win. So therefore, basically, Roman is going to get 5 points for being in the match, and 6 for moves is 11 more points to Roman. So that's 7. That's 247. And then the Miz is going to get 5 points for being in the match. 9 move points is 14. And then 20 for retention of the Intercontinental title is 34 points to the Miz. $34 points to the Miz. Where is he? Here we go. 144, 54, 55. That's 256 for the Miz. Wow. Following the match, the Bar continues to beat the shit out of Roman Reigns in the ringside area before pulling him back into the ring. Miz then joins in on the beatdown as Roman Reigns is then hit with a neutralizer, a bro kick, and a skull-crushing finale in that order.
Somebody doesn't like him.
As the heels start to leave, the crowd begins chanting for the Shield. And so Miz and his Duke of Patriots stop and proceed to hit Roman Reigns with a triple powerbomb. And then stand over him and do the Shield fist bump. So that is out of match assault for the Bar and the Miz and a finisher to each. I'm not counting the powerbomb. So that is going to be 4 and a finisher is 5 points to each of those people. So 5 points to The Miz is going to put him at 261. 61, there we go. 5 points to Sheamus. Going to put him at 165. And 5 points to Cesaro. Up here somewhere. Is going to put him at 158. So, we go to a commercial so we can clear that carnage out of the ring. And we come back and are joined by the former Universal Champion, Finn Balor. Finn Balor proceeds to cut a promo on Bray Wyatt. And it says, you see, I don't like to come out to this ring and talk. I like to come out to this ring and fight. But Bray Wyatt, he likes to come out here and play mind games. He comes out here last week and he has a kid singing, he's got the whole world. And the audience finishes singing the line for him. But I know that's a load of crap. Because if Bray Wyatt did have the whole world in his hands, he wouldn't know what to do with it. Shit, my water fell. No.
Oh.
It has a cap. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry. And Bray Wyatt calls himself a god, but he's not a god. You call yourself the eater of worlds. You're not that either. What you are, Bray Wyatt, is a coward. Bray Wyatt, Bray Wyatt is afraid of me. I see through you, and that's what you really are, is afraid. You know you can't beat me despite your mind games. The demon beat you at SummerSlam. The man beat you at No Mercy. You can't beat me. But if you want to try, why don't you come out here and fight me right now? But instead, Bray Wyatt appears on the screen. He is in his dimly lit room in his rocking chair. And he is rocking back and forth, holding his knees, repeatedly chanting, "She never lied to me. She would never lie to me. She would never lie to me. She would never lie to me." But you did lie, Finn Balor. You see, you lied. You said that the man created the demon, but I see the truth. You don't put on face paint and become the demon. You peel back your layers of skin and reveal him. The man didn't create the demon. The demon powers the man. I saw it in you at No Mercy. But you see, I have my demons too. Sister Abigail is alive. And she wants to meet you. And at Hell in a Cell, she will. And as Bray Wyatt continues to laugh, his voice is overlaid with the laugh of a female. And a horrific visage is plastered over Bray Wyatt's face. Hang on a sec. And just for your general knowledge, I will just throw this up here. As I stop presenting that for 1 second. Come on. Stop presenting, you piece of crap. Come on. There we go. Hi, can you see me yet?
No.
God damn it. Well, alright, let's just do this then. Fuck it. I'm gonna put this up here. This is a screenshot of what Bray Wyatt turned into. Can you see that?
No. Still the log logo.
Well, you fail, my good sir.
I didn't do it.
Alright, well then here. I'm just gonna put a link in the chat.
Okay.
That's not the right link. Ignore that. Sorry. Thought I had copied it. It did not copy. Live, everybody. Where's the damn chat? There we go.
Finn, you and the Control C are liars.
Pretty much. There we go. That's the one I wanted. Click on that one.
Oh.
Open that shit up. It's a small picture, but it's there.
That's weird.
Yeah, they put almost like a scarecrow looking thing over him, like the Batman villain. And he cackled laughing as Abigail laughed along with him. Apparently, the shtick here is going to be that Sister Abigail is going to be Bray Wyatt's version of the demon. So, in some capacity or another, he will be wrestling as possessed by Sister Abigail at the pay-per-view. How that's going to work, I don't know, but it apparently will. So that's what Bray's up to. I'm going to put the scoreboard back up for the benefit of the people at home. Close that out. You lock this, present to everybody. There we go. Okay, moving along. We're rolling now. Let me close out Bray Wyatt. So, that's promo to Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor. And that's going to put Balor at 160, and Bray Wyatt is going to get 5 points. And he is going to move up to 92. After this, we see another Oscar promotional video. And then we go to what is actually our main event match tonight. Which happens to be a tag team match play featuring Sasha Banks and Bayley, this time taking on the team of Emma and Alicia. And once again, Bayley with a main event win out of nowhere. How about that?
I don't believe it.
I know. Well, Emma and Alicia didn't really do shit at all. I mean, they put up a fight, but barely. Particularly near the end of the match when Alicia went to tag and Emma was like, no, and walked away.
Oops. Okay.
And then Alicia walked right into a Bayley to belly. So let's go ahead and Emma and Alicia were the losers, so we will score them first, per the usual rules. So Alicia gets 5 for competing. She gets 4 for being in the main event is 9, and 1 for a move is 10 points to Alicia. So she got 15 points tonight. How about that? And then Emma is going to get 5 for competing, 4 for the main event, and 2 moves is 11 points to Emma. 12. And then we're going to go to the winning team. So Sasha Banks is going to get 15 points for being on the winning team. She's going to get 5 for being in this match. Is 20. She's going to get 4 for being in the main event is 24. And 4 move points is 28 points to Sasha Banks. Yeah, 48 for that puts her at 150.
Oh, wow.
And Bayley is going to get, let's see here, 20 points for winning this match. She's going to get 9 for being in and winning the main event is 29. She's going to get 5 for just having a match is 34. And she is going to get 2 move points is 36 points to Bayley. 90, 80, 91. That puts her at 97. She's working her way back. All right. We then see footage of what happened last week with the Cruiserweight division. We're informed that the Bar is going to be on Miz TV next week. And once again, the Cruiserweights hijacked the main event. For the second week in a row. This time, Enzo Amore comes out with his mic in tow. And says that he wants to get right down to business tonight. And tells the entire Cruiserweight division to go to hell. He says, and anyone who agrees with them can go to hell too. See, I'm putting 205 Live on the map, and I've been in the main event of Raw 2 weeks in a row. Enzo takes some shots at the members of the division. and says everyone is jealous of him. Enzo also says that after last week, clearly what he had wasn't enough, so he has another clause this week. And said clause stipulates that if anyone touches the Cruiserweight division touches him tonight, they will be fired. Yeah, he went there. You don't sound shocked. You clearly already figured out that nobody got fired.
Yeah, well, that seems
Fair
a
enough.
bit extreme.
Fair enough. So, Enzo continues talking trash and says it's only at the top until he's interrupted by Neville, who is followed by the Cruiserweight division, and they proceed to surround the ring and jump up onto the apron. As they stand there, Enzo proceeds to start at the left-hand corner of the ring and proceed to insult his way around the entire outside of the ring. To the point that WWE actually did a top 10 of Enzo's insults from that segment.
Wow.
It's on WWE.com. Some of the highlights include such things as, let's see, what did he bust out here? Things. I remember he had a couple of okay ones. He called Brian Kendrick a hoe. Yeah, he said he was glad that, again, he made the Captain Underpants joke at Joe Gulak. Said, I'm glad you wearing a shirt and tie. And why don't you go sit over there at the desk with Corey Graves? Who else did it with? He stopped with Jack Gallagher. He's like, hey, teacup. Why don't you get in your DeLorean and go back to the future? My 30s. And he called Neville Gollum again. took some of the usual shots at Neville. The highlight of the night was actually the shot he took at TJP, though. Because he got to TJP, who was on the far side of the ring. He said, and you, I have more hair on my chest than you have on your face. So next time you get in this ring, I'm going to need to see some ID because I don't want to have to beat a minor.
Okay, then.
Yeah, so. Oh, he took a shot at Lindsay Dorado, too. What did he say to Lindsay Dorado? That was pretty good. Oh, what did he say to him? I know he said that he had a better mohawk than him, but he said something else too. I can't remember. I don't have the list of Enzo insults from Raw in front of me, but they were decent. And if you go to WWE's YouTube, there is Enzo Amore's Cruiserweight insults ranked. 13 of them to be precise. So check those out.
Sounds good.
So, yeah. Anyway. So, entertaining nonetheless. But he got back around to Neville and called him Gollum again. And basically continued talking shit to the roster about how they can't touch him or they're going to be fired. And he dares them all to touch him. They don't. But before Enzo could talk any more crap, he is interrupted by Kurt Angle, who proceeds to come out to the stage to the much chanting of "You suck." And says, now Enzo, you're correct in that because everyone around this ring touched you last week, none of them will get a Cruiserweight Championship match as long as you hold the title. And you were also correct that with the clause I gave you, if any one of these men touches you tonight, they will be fired. However, none of this applies to the newest member of the Cruiserweight division that I just signed. Lucha. And out comes Kalisto.
What a twisto.
Pretty much. The audience pops and Kalisto runs down to the ring and jumps in, and he punches Enzo in the face and kicks him a few times and hits him with a Salida del Sol. As the cruiserweights all look on approvingly and then laugh at him. So, there you go. And then Kalisto leads the lucha chant of the crowd, of course. So, okay, let's see here. So, Enzo is going to get promo. We'll start with the easy one. Puts Enzo at 350. And then Kalisto is going to get an assault. That's 4. And then the kick and the finisher, I think he got like 2 moves. I'm going to call it 2. I have Kalisto, so no one's suffering on it but me. So I'll throw Kalisto 4 for the assault and 2 moves is 6 points to Kalisto. We'll put him at 20. Start off with that. And now I've got to go through the cruiserweight division. Every cruiserweight gets, besides those guys, gets 3 points for being around the ring. Gotta do it. All right. Akira Tozawa. Oh, that was the other one. He said no. And he got to Tozawa and he's like, Tozawa, you said you like me on Twitter, so I'm not going to say anything to you tonight. So, I don't know.
Just let him go.
Pretty much.
Okay, then. Fair enough.
Yeah. So, let's go down. So, right. So we got Akira. He took. Let's see. He even though Daivari helped him on 205 Live this week, he took a shot at Daivari too, and I'm trying to remember what that was too. Oh, he insulted Daivari's expensive clothes. I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was something about him, his fashion looking like shit. I don't remember the detail on that one. He went over to Mustafa Ali.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, hey, Mufasa. I can insult you, but nothing's going to be more insulting than your parents naming you after the Lion King. Something of that general effect. You can watch the video later. Anyway, moving along. So, Daivari gets 3 points. What else we got here? Let's see. Cruiserweights. Who else in this division? Cedric Alexander. Oh, yeah. Cedric Alexander was wearing a really tight shirt, and he's like, Cedric, what are you wearing, a scuba shirt? What the hell size is that? A medium? That was a good one, too. Schmedium. What else we got here? Cruiserweights. Drew Gulak is going to get 3 points. Oh, I missed Kendrick again. Let's make sure we don't miss Kendrick. 109 for Kendrick. Okay. Moving along. None of these people. New. Enzo we covered. New. Metalik. 5. Gallagher. 52. Kalisto we covered. No. Lindsay Dorado. 9. No, none of these people. Mustafa Ali. No, Neville. 210. Noam Dar. 41. Yeah, Dar, you creepy fucking guarded no M. I should punch you across my front lawn. I'm remembering them as I see the names. I think he said something about Rich Swan's dancing again. Anybody else in here? No, no, none of these people. No, no. None of these people. No. Tony Nese. Tony Nese, look at you, Nese. You have more abs than brain cells.
Wow.
TJ Perkins, we already covered. That puts him at 81. And that's everybody. Okay. Yes, yes, yeah. Okay, that'll work. Finally, to end out the program, we cut back to the locker room where Roman Reigns is sitting in the locker room alone looking dejected. And bandaged up after the beating he took from the Miz and his friends, the Bar, earlier in the evening. And he kind of sits there just kind of looking. Then he kind of looks up and the camera pans left, and Dean Ambrose is standing there. And Roman stands up and he and Dean kind of look at each other for a minute. Then Roman looks to the left and the camera pulls back a little bit. And Seth Rollins is standing there. And the three of them kind of look at each other for a minute. And then Dean and Seth, they kind of nod at each other. And then Dean and Seth leave and Roman sits back down. As Raw goes off the air. Hashtag Shield. So, even though I didn't say anything, I'm going to give each of these guys a promo for that. Because I think they deserve it. What do you think?
Yeah.
$250 for Dean Ambrose. And let's see. Oh, by the way, Dean Ambrose should have 4 points for that assault when he saved Rollins earlier. Forgot about that. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to have Roman. There we go. 3, that's 252. And Seth freaking Rollins is going to get 5. And he's going to be up at 241. Okay. That endeth Raw. Let's check the scores that you can't see.
Hey, I can see them now.
Hey, all right.
I don't know what happened.
That was weird. Google Hangouts. All right. So let's see what we got here. Still in the lead at 25-55 is the Champions of Justice. Followed at 20-87 by the Glorious End. Followed by TNA Worldwide at 1892. And still trailing in last is the Certified Balor Club at 1698. Yeah. So let's see. Was on, let's see, 10-17. SDL is on 10. 3. And
Uh-oh.
Hello?
Oh no, there we go. I don't know. It
What? What?
I don't know, either lagged me out or froze up or something.
Oh, was I the one that got kicked?
I don't know.
Okay, well, that was weird because I was still talking. Anyway, sorry, folks at home. That was weird. We don't know what happened. Live. Okay. Did you hear me read the scores?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it cut out when you were typing the date for SmackDown.
Okay, fair enough. Well, we're going to move on to SmackDown.
All right.
And SmackDown is coming place is also at the Pepsi Center in Denver, Colorado, apparently. And we do have a guest, the SmackDown roster, also with a moment of silence for the victims of the Las Vegas massacre. And then we open the program with Renee Young. How about that? She's in the ring, and she welcomes her guest tonight, Shinsuke Nakamura, who will, of course, be challenging Jinder Mahal for the WWE Championship at Hell in a Cell. And Renee proceeds to interview Shinsuke, asking him what he thinks of Jinder making fun of him. And he says that sticks and stones will break his bones, but words will never hurt him. Renee says they've never seen anyone in WWE like him, and Nakamura adds he'll take the title from Jinder on Sunday. The Singh brothers come out and say they're sorry for interrupting Shinsuke's thrilling interview, but they have to introduce Jinder Mahal, which they do. But instead of coming up behind the curtain as expected, Jinder Mahal runs out of the crowd and attacks Shinsuke from behind. Nakamura starts to fight back, but the Singh brothers hit the ring and they triple team the crap out of him. And Jinder then hits him with a Colossus. So that's going to be an... let's go back over here. That's going to be a promo to Shinsuke Nakamura. That's 159. Yeah. And then we are going to have ourselves... technically the Singh brothers spoke, so I guess they have to get promo points. That puts them at 47. And Sunil Singh, 47. And then all three of those guys are also going to get an assault. That's 4 more points. That's going to put them at 51 each. And then Jinder Mahal is going to get an assault and a finisher. Is 5 points to Jinder. Where the hell is he? There we go. 74. Okay. So, after this, we are informed by the commentary team that Shane McMahon is going to stand face-to-face with Kevin Owens later tonight.
What could possibly go wrong?
We see footage from earlier today of women's champion Natalya confronting Carmella and James Ellsworth, and her warning Carmella not to try cashing in her Money in the Bank contract tonight. So, promo to Natalya and Carmella and James Ellsworth. I'll do Carmella because I'm at the top. That's 59. And James Ellsworth is at 41. And the women's champion Natalya is at 119. You get the feeling you're winning the women's title tomorrow.
Yay.
Indeed. Every little bit helps. Yeah. So we get to the ring where we have a tag team match of Natalya teaming up with Carmella to take on Charlotte and Becky. Ellsworth is chained up to the ring post. In Carmella and Natalya's corner, of course. And we have ourselves a good back and forth tag team match until near the end when Carmella nails Becky with the briefcase. Charlotte sees it and the briefcase shot, and Natalya takes advantage of the distraction by dropping her from behind and putting her in a sharpshooter for the submission win. So, Becky and Charlotte lose. So we'll do them first. Becky had no moves, so Becky's just going to get 5 points for showing up on the program. being in a match. Sorry, Maggie. 6. And then we're going to have points for Charlotte, who has 5 and 2 moves, is 7 points to Charlotte. That's 39. And then we're going to have ourselves the winning team. Carmella had no moves. So Carmella is going to get 15 for being on the winning team and 5 for competing. Is 20, and 3 for the weapon shot with a briefcase is 23. 979, and 3 is 82. James Ellsworth is going to get accompaniment points. And the winner is Natalya, who is going to get 20 for winning the match, 5 for competing is 25, 5 for moves is 30 points to Natalya. 149. All right. Following this, we see a promo compilation video for the Owens Shane feud. And then we go to the ring where we have ourselves a match where Mike Kanellis is here, and he's taking on Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode backs Mike into a corner. Kanellis tries to fight back with kicks and right hands, but Roode ducks one punch, answers with the double R spine buster, and then nails the glorious DDT for the victory. So, short match. Mike Kanellis will get 5 for being in said match. Oh, there he is. Okay, look what you get. It's 10. And then Bobby Roode is going to get 20 for competing, 5 for winning is 25, and 2 for moves is 27 points to the glorious one. I have 85, and 7 is 92 for Bobby Roode. Following the match, Dolph Ziggler comes out to the stage. Ziggler says Roode's entrance is quite a production, and that he's been working on ideas for his entrance for their match at Hell in a Cell on Sunday. So first Ziggler says, let's try this out, and he plays a loud siren. And he's like, no, that's not going to work. Oh, how about this? And Ziggler runs to the back and comes back out playing a giant drum. He drops the drum and then sets off some noisemakers and an air horn all the way down to the ring. He asks if the fans like him now and tells Roode that he thinks his entrance is everything, and that Roode finally weaseled his way into WWE after all these years, but on Sunday, Ziggler will show us an entrance like we've never seen before. And when that bell rings, he'll expose Roode for what he really is. Nothing more than the fancy entrance. Ziggler drops his mic and proceeds to walk off, but Roode picks it up and stops him, saying that he thinks that Ziggler's entrances are horrible, but their match at the pay-per-view will be glorious. And he then actually he doesn't actually say the word glorious. What he says is, you know, as for a match TLC, well, Dolph, because Dolph had basically mocked his entrance. He says, well, let me show you how this is done properly. He puts the hands down, and he throws them up, and the spotlight and music hit right as he throws the arms up. Glorious. I won't give in till I'm victorious. So, promo to Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode. That's 97 for Roode, and that's an extra 5 for Dolph. Puts him at 40. And we clear them out of the ring, go to commercial, and come back to another pre-advertised promo, and that is the Usos, who come out to read the New Day their rights. and then talk about how this Sunday we're having a Hell in a Cell match. And you know what that's a lot like, Oos? No, what is that not like? That's a lot like the Uso Penitentiary. And they basically talk about they're going to be locked in, you know, and they mentioned that this ain't going to be no 3-on-2 situation. One of y'all suckers is going to be locked out. And basically talk about all the different things that are going to happen in Hell in a Cell and how it's like a jail. Because they've been real since day one-ish. So, yeah, pretty much. So they're interrupted by the New Day, who march down the ramp. And we need to point out that, you know, you came out here to talk about, you know, no, you're right, Norm. And they made fun of, you know, what the New Day normally did, saying there's not going to be any, you know, promoting of merchandise and other things. Like, no, you're right. And Biggie's like, you're right. Or I should say Kofi. He's like, you're right. Normally, we would come out here, we would, you know, we'd have some, you know, some dancing and some unicorn horns, you know, whatever. Maybe we would promote some product. You know, maybe like these, and he pulls back these New Day underwear. Throws them into the crowd. But tonight we're here to be a little more serious, because you're here to read us our rights. But what we'd like to talk about, some laughs. You know, for example, the way we left our last match against you with a tag team championship. You know, how we left the two of you lying in the ring. So on. You know, we'll be triumphant, and the two will the New Day climbs to the ring, results in the Usos backing off and heading up the ramp as the New Day finishes the promo. So, promo Usos in the New Day.
Okay.
12 and G, it's 5, it's 1, feet 5, 1, Biggie 5, and Z 5, 8. Okay. As we cut backstage to Jinder Mahal, who cuts a promo in his people's native language of Punjabi. He then switches to English and shows a clip of him beating up Nakamura earlier in the night, and that he's going to do the same thing to Nakamura on Sunday at Hell in a Cell, and will walk out with the WWE Championship. So, promo to Jinder. That's 9. Okay. It is announced that apparently at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view that the Hype Bros are going to take on Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin on the kickoff show. So stay tuned for that. Then we have ourselves what was eventually a grudge match after repeated interferences on each other of Ty Dillinger versus Baron Corbin. AJ Styles is shown watching on a monitor backstage. And Ty Dillinger manages to pick up the win after Baron Corbin got a little too overconfident after he beat up Ty outside the ring and threw him back in. And so he got himself overall. As Corbin freaked out. Baron Corbin is going to get 5 points for being in this match. And no moves as far as I could tell. So. Five points to Corbin then. Excuse me. Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin. Ouch. But 13. And Ty Dillinger gets 20 for winning, 5 for competing, gets 25, and 1 for the winning tiebreaker. Ironically enough, is 26. Ty Dillinger. Where is he? There we go. Is 76. All right. Then as Ty makes his way backstage, AJ pops up on the monitor and cuts a promo on Corbin, saying that he needs to stop throwing temper tantrums all the time, and that he's tired of him getting in the way of his U.S. title reign. So on Sunday, he's going to take Corbin out. So promo to AJ Styles. All right. After this, we clear the ring, go to a commercial, and we come back to Aiden English and Rusev. Rusev gets on a mic and points out that Randy Orton ruined Rusev Day last week. But doesn't worry because he's going to have a great Rusev Day at Hell in a Cell when he beats up Randy Orton. Aiden English attempts to sing, but is interrupted by Orton's theme music. Orton goes out to the ring and has a match against Aiden English, where Aiden English gets some early offense, takes control with a dropkick to the face. Orton ducks a clothesline as English bounces off the ropes. He then gets launched into the air and eats an RKO. Orton wins. So that's going to be promo to Rusev and Aiden. Oh, and Rusev looks like he was going to jump in and attack Orton after the match, but then thought better of it. So that's going to be Rusev is going to get a promo. As is Aiden English. 69. Aiden English is going to get a promo. It's going to put him at 94. And then Aiden English is going to get 5 for being in a match. He didn't have any moves as far as I can tell, so I'm just going to put him at 99. Orton gets 20 for being in, 20 for winning, 5 for being in, and 1 for the RKO. It's 26 points to Randy Orton. X at 6 is 132. All right. After this, we cut back to Shane McMahon in the backstage area, and he's approached by Sami Zayn. Who warns him about Owens, saying that Shane has only gotten a glimpse of what Owens can do when he snaps, and that Owens is in a very bad state of mind. Shane brushes him off and tells him to worry about himself. Shane will worry about Owens. I will worry about Shane, rather. So, promo to Sami Zayn. Okay. So, our main event segment, oh, hey, Orton versus English was the main event. What do you know? So, that's extra points. That means Aiden English gets 4 points for being in the main event. Puts him at 103. And that means Orton gets himself an extra, that's 4 for being in the main event and 5 for winning it. It's an extra 9 points to Randy Orton. Puts him at 141. How about that? Okay. And then to end the night, Shane McMahon comes out to the ring and calls out Owens, and also proceeds to announce that his, which I thought this applied anyway, but I guess it's not inherent. Shane announces that the Hell in a Cell match against Kevin Owens at the pay-per-view will be Falls Count Anywhere. I think you should do have to pin him in the ring in that match, don't you, John?
Falls Count Anywhere?
I mean, in a normal cell match.
Oh, yeah.
So they would need to announce that stipulation. Okay. So Owens emerges from the crowd, says that he's really the money in WWE. Says he spent enough time in Denver as it is, and he's going to leave instead of coming to the ring. As he starts walking away, Shane calls him out from the ring and says he's a coward, and then since Owens won't come to him, he's going to go to Owens. Shane hops the barricade and runs up the stairs through the crowd chasing Kevin Owens. He catches up to him in the arena hallways but gets ambushed. There are fans in the hallway cheering on the fight as Owens and Shane brawl through the concession area until Owen powerbombs Shane through a merch table. He leaves Shane lying and starts walking back toward the ring. and back through the crowd, stepping into the ring with a mic, saying if Shane thinks this is bad, he hasn't seen anything yet. Owens says he's glad they're matching with False Count Anywhere because he wants to be able to beat Shane inside or outside the cell, and says he'll grind Shane's face across the cage till his flesh is ripped off, powerbomb him over and over till he forgets his kids' names. He says Shane can forget about jumping off the cell because on Sunday he's throwing Shane off the cell, and there's no getting up this time. As he's talking, Shane stumbles back down the steps through the crowd. Owens gets out of the ring and hops to meet him at the guardrail, and they start brawling again. Shane throws Owens over the fan barricade and hops up for a flying clothesline off of it. They continue to brawl until Owens throws Shane over the announce table. He gets back in the ring as Shane slowly follows him in. They fight in the ring back and forth. Owens drops Shane with a super kick for stepping outside. Owens sees Shane getting up, so he throws him back, gets back in the ring again and grabs him. They start fighting again, but Owens drops him again, this time with a headbutt. As the referee checks on Shane, Owens grabs him again, this time hits a pop-up powerbomb, and his theme music hits as he walks away, and the refs check on Shane. So let's see. That is an out-of-match assault for Shane. Score. Yeah, let's see. There was a. Let's see. I guess 3 for a table spot, because technically that's how you use a table as a weapon. That's the one time I will allow something, a superstar being thrown into a weapon to count.
Yeah.
So that's 4 and 3 is 7. 1 for the powerbomb he used to do it is 8. He gets 5 for promoing. Is 13. And then he gets a super kick and a headbutt and a pop-up powerbomb is 3 more moves. So, what did I say? 5 for the promo and 4 for the assault. And 5 moves is 14 and 3 for the table spot is 17 in the powerbomb. The bag is 18 points to KO. And 8 is 154. All right. Thus endeth SmackDown. Check the scores. What do you think? Whoa. Wrong button. There we go. All right. Checking it out. Still in the lead at 26-36. The Champion's Justice, followed by the Glorious End at 21-68. Followed at 1973 by TNA Worldwide and at 1752 by the Broken Highlight Club. And come on, paste.
Yeah. You're breaking up a lot for me. Maybe. Okay. It might be
Testing.
back.
1, 2.
I can hear you.
Okay. Hang on. This is my own stupid fault. I didn't think to plug the cable in.
Oh.
Just now realizing that because I've been up since 7:30 this morning. I'm a little tired. Sorry, folks. Okay, we're good. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. It's funny because your picture froze on you with the bottle. It's kind of funny. Anyway, did you hear the scores?
Yes.
Okay.
It was in the middle of you typing, I think, Jeff's score. When it was...
Okay, so we're going to move on to the 205 Live, which only had 2 matches this week.
And a long promo? Or were they long?
Several promos.
Oh.
We recapped the Raw main event segment. And then we open up with Kalisto, who comes out for a promo talking about how quickly he accepted Kurt Angle's offer to join the Cruiserweights because they're the hardest working guys he's ever seen. But he's cut off by Enzo rather quickly. So we have promo to Kalisto to start off. And so Enzo comes out and does his thing. He says Kalisto is the luckiest luchador in Hollywood because he's now on the Show. The champ, he said he'd be embarrassed to give Kalisto's outfit to the Salvation Army, though. And he says, now, you can't give away lucha masks, but now that you're on a show with me, they'll sell like hotcakes like everything else I touch. Kalisto cuts him off saying Amore didn't earn the title, and he has the production truck roll the footage of how he low-blowed Neville. Zoe says that winning is winning. He'll give Kalisto credit, though. He went toe-to-toe with Braun Strowman, but he ended up in a trash can, and now Angle is spreading trash all over his show. Amore runs down the fans who complain about him disrespecting the Cruiserweight division, but says he still signs for them when they wait for him at the airport because he's about giving the people what they want. And they want matches for 205 Live, so he introduces Kalisto's first opponent, saying that despite what he said last night, Daivari is still his boy, and he's going to be the biggest Persian since the Kardashians. And hand Kalisto his first L. So promo to Enzo. Five. All right. And then we have our first match of the night, which is Kalisto versus Arya Daivari. Kalisto winning via a Salida del Sol, which he hit out of nowhere. Capital letters. Although Daivari got in plenty of offense, including a near fall off a frog splash. So it was a good, it was not a one-sided affair. So Daivari will get 5 points for being in the match. And 1 move for that frog splash is 6 points to Daivari. Gonna put Daivari at 50 even. And then Kalisto 1, that's 20 points. 5 for competing is 25. And 1 for the Salida del Sol is 26 points to Kalisto. And 6 is 51. After this, we look back at Gallagher's turn and the issues they've had. He and Kendrick have had with Cedric recently. And then we see Drew Gulak on his way to the ring. And as he does, he pauses to remind a young fan about his third proposal, no chance. In the ring, he grabs the mic saying there's been a lot of talk about the changing landscape at 205 Live, something he's been talking about for weeks. He has been explaining his vision for a Drewtopia, but Tozawa interrupted him from presenting the remaining 260 proposals last week. So before his match tonight, he'd like to finish his PowerPoint presentation. But he only gets as far as proposal number 8, no flipping, before his opponent butts in. His opponent being Mustafa Ali. And after he enters, Tozawa hits the stage for a round of Oz, and then watches from a chair that he sets up on the stage. So Gulak is going to get a promo, and then also 5 for competing in the match. So 10 points is going to go to Gulak. And then Tozawa is, I guess, going to get the equivalent of commentary. So we'll give him 5 points. So 108. And then, of course, Mustafa Ali won a match off of the 054. That will be the inverted 450, if you're paying attention to those numbers.
Nice.
Not sure if that's official or if the reviewer recapper made it up, but I like it either way.
I like that.
So he nails him with the maneuver. So Mustafa Ali is going to get 20 for winning, 5 for competing, and 1 for the 054. Is going to be 26 points to Mustafa Ali. And 6 is 57. All right. So after this, Tozawa comes out to the ring and Oz in Drew's face. We find out that TJP is going to have a match against Rich Swann again next week. And Dasha Fuentes then interviews the Brian Kendrick. He cuts off her question and says he has sympathy for Cedric Alexander because Gallagher is in the locker room thinking of ways to hurt him. He also feels bad for Enzo because he should have stood up for Enzo because he's also faced a jealous locker room before. He says he joins Daivari in standing with their champ, and returns to talking about Cedric, saying he's looking forward to Jack kicking his ass because he represents the current generation of guys. He's soft. Before he can continue, he's attacked from behind by Cedric, who lays him out and then heads off. So that's going to be a promo to Kendrick and then out-of-match assault for Cedric. And then, right, Cedric Alexander is going to get an assault. It's going to put him at 200 even. How about that? And the top 10 for Cedric. After this, we go to our main event, which is Jack Gallagher versus Cedric Alexander. Jack Gallagher won the match via disqualification as he worked at Cedric's knee and scurried out of the ring to escape punishment. And then stopped Jack from using his umbrella before deciding to use William III as a weapon himself, and then beat the shit out of Gallagher post-match. So Cedric is going to get 5 for being in the match. He's going to get 4 for being in the main event. Is 9. He's going to get 3 for the way in the third weapon use. Is 12. And he got himself DQ'd, so that's about it. But actually, Tensha got DQ'd, so it's a -4, actually. So it actually is being in the main event won't get him, so it's 5 and 3. So it's 8 points to Cedric for that. Puts him at 208. Gallagher won the match by an unintentional disqualification win. So he's going to get 0 points for that, but he will get 5 points for competing in a match, and 4 for being in the main event is 9. So that's 9 to Jack Gallagher. And 4 for no, actually no, the other one. Yeah, 9 for Gallagher. Start with that. Too much going on. $61. And then post-match, Alexander throws Jack into the timekeeper's area and then off the announce table before the officials separate them. So Alexander with a post-match assault for 4 points. $12. Kendrick limps to ringside to check out his ally, and the show ends Cedric taunting them from the ring and daring them to bring it, as it were. So, thus endeth the 205 Live. Let's go take a look at the final scores for the week. We go over yonder. All right, your winner at the end of the week is still the Champions of Justice at 2642, followed by the Glorious End at 2174, followed by the TNA Worldwide at 2025, followed by Broken Highlight Club at 1802. Four, 9, 2, and 2642. Okay. And of course, per the usual, let's take a look at our leaderboard. And that's going to be right at the top, Enzo Amore at 355, still in the lead there. And then, let's see. The Miz, the Intercontinental Champion, is in second place at 261, followed by one half of the Raw Tag Champs, Dean Ambrose, at 254. Roman Reigns at 252, followed by the other half of the Raw Tag Champs, Seth Rollins, at 241. The Raw Women's Champion, Alexa Bliss, coming in at 239, followed by the US Champion, AJ Styles, at 228. Braun Strowman coming in at number 8 at 227, just a point behind AJ, followed by Cedric Alexander at 212, and the former Cruiserweight Champion, Neville, rounding out the top 10 at 210. And there you have it. As it were. What do you think, Sean?
I'm surprised Enzo has held on to first as long as he has.
Well, of course, after 4 seasons, I finally don't have him, so of course they finally use him now.
Apparently. Just, hasn't he... I don't think he's wrestled since he won the belt.
Nope.
But he keeps appearing and doing promos, so it's, it's little bits, but it's adding up. That's just
weird. Well, the winning the belt was enough to give him enough lead that he only needs a little bit to keep maintaining it.
Yeah.
But there's a pay-per-view with titles at hand tomorrow, so...
Yeah.
And his is not one of them, so...
Nope.
Speaking of that pay-per-view, by the way,